D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? Wow, that was such a good season finale. I feel like it had the perfect amount of everything. It was so good. I loved it. I really have liked this show. I will do a season 1 review, but for this episode, it was really good. We got to see what the blacks did instead of the greens. You know, the greens set their pieces and they put their pieces in motion. And now we got to see what the blacks were doing in reaction to that. There was some stuff that happened that are in the books, and are in the book, because there's the volume 2 is going to come out, but I don't know when. Who knows with Martin? But in the books, the book, there's something that happens in here that doesn't happen in the book, and if it does, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it didn't happen in the book. And then there's something that happens here that happens in the book, but it happens differently, and it'd be interesting to see if Martin gave the creators of this show / the writers of this show, if he gave them some insight into it, or if they just went on their own and just kind of like just did whatever they want. They're mavericks and everything. So like I said before, this was just a great season finale. I really, I'm not gonna lie, I like a lot of people. I really do miss Millie Alcock. I thought she was a great Rhaenyra. I think she's a fantastic actress. But I did enjoy Emma D'Arcy this episode. I thought that Emma did a good job. I thought that Emma did a good job in portraying like a mother, a queen, and yet she didn't want to start the war. And if she wasn't going to be the first one to throw a punch. So I felt like, Queen Rhaenyra was trying to be diplomatic, but she was also like, I'm the queen at the same time. And I think Emma D'Arcy did a good job portraying her, especially in this episode. But I do admit that I did like Millie Alcock better. But beggars can't be choosers, you know what I'm saying? Now, in saying that, everybody else did a good job acting too. The acting on this show is fantastic. And we got some dragons. We got some dragon action in this one. Not an overwhelming amount, but enough to where I was just like, oh, I want more. Daddy wants more. All right, I'm going to go into this breakdown. I'm going to try not to take too much of your time, but I have some insight / thoughts about this episode. The season finale was so good. It was so good. But before I get started on that, guys, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now that I got that out of the way, we start off with the intro, which I have to admit, all season, didn't like the intro. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was very good compared to the Game of Thrones intro. But maybe it would have been different if we got to see the houses that are on the little ticky-tacky things, but we didn't, so it doesn't even matter. So then we hop over to Dragonstone, where we see this table. And this is from Game of Thrones. We saw it in Game of Thrones. And this is just the table that shows Westeros. It's all one piece. It's very cool. If I could fit it in my house, I would own one. And if I could afford it. And we have Lucerys here, and he's looking at Driftmark. And that is the area of Westeros that he will inherit once his uncle, Lord Corlys, dies. And he's been injured in the battle with what's their faces. And so they're thinking he's not going to pull through. He will pull through. But then his mother comes in and she sees what he's doing. And he talks about this. He's like, if the sea snake, Lord Corlys, dies, then he'll have to run everything. And he's afraid that he'll ruin everything because he's, the best. He is the best sailor. And he gets sick anytime he, even thinks about getting on a ship. And then she talks about how the king, Viserys, didn't choose her to be heir, or chose her to be heir. And then he talks about, hold on, let me just fast forward to this. Sorry, guys. And so then he talks about how, and she talks about how when he chose her to be heir, she was frightened, but it was her duty, and she had to earn her inheritance. And then he says, but I'm not like you. You're just so perfect. And she talks about how she wasn't always perfect, but it was her father who taught her these things, and his mother, aka her, will teach him these same things. And I thought that was really nice. And like I said, Emma D'Arcy, she did a good job portraying a mother. And I really liked that a lot. She did a really good job in these instances. So after that's all done, a guard comes in. Lord L, his name starts with an L, but he says how Princess Viserys is there. Viserys, not Viserys. Rhaenyra is there, and she wants to talk to her. And it's very urgent. And so she's all like, ooh, sorry, you guys. She's all like, okay, I'll talk to her. And so we fast forward here, and she comes in. She tells her, your father's dead. She's like, hey, your dad's dead. Sorry, honey. And she's like, what kind of thing? And it kind of, and she's all like, and I was locked away for a couple of days. I don't know how long it was. Could have been 2 days or whatever. But and he's crowned Aegon king of the seven kingdoms. And she is very upset about this. It's a lot all at once. And Daemon does question Queen Viserys, Rhaenyra's escaping, but I mean, it's all for naught. She didn't do it. She's not a traitor. So then she goes into labor right off the bat because she's going to leave to go to Driftmark to see her about her husband. And she goes into labor. And this guy's all like, hey, it's not time for the baby. This can't be happening. The baby's not ready. And she's like, listen, fucker, it's happening, okay? Get your shit together, all right? I thought you were a doctor or a maester in this instance. So she's sitting there, and she's having a hell time of it. Meanwhile, Daemon, he is like planning some shit out. He's moving the pieces that he can into order. He doesn't have enough men to get the island of Dragonstone to defend it, but he's got enough to where he can A, look formidable, and B, protect the keep. So then these two are training, and I have to just say, Jacaerys is a little bit too harsh on Viserys. Like, Viserys is trying, and I'm sorry, you can't just pick up a sword and start wielding it around like a freaking samurai or anything like that. It's kind of like when you do kung fu and stuff, or karate in one of those little studios in a strip mall and everything. You go in and you learn how to do it, and you may know how to do it, and you can be a black belt, but you have to realize that when you get into a street fight, you're not going to your opponent is not going to be like whoa and everything and play by the rules. They're just going to start swinging, and you gotta do street rules. You know what I'm saying? So are you good? So then Rhaenyra, she's like, your mom wants to talk to you. And so he comes in, and she's like, listen, I'm having a baby. And she's like, but your grandfather's dead. And your uncle is named king or whatnot. And as they're leaving, she tells Jace, she's like, I'm still the queen. Nothing gets done without my approval. You understand? He's like, it shall be done. And everything. His hair still looks awful. Why do these kids have like the worst freaking wigs? I mean, like, look at this kid. He's got like a big bushy hairdo. I'm like, what's going on here? He still looks like freaking, Grandma Brady from the Brady Bunch or whatever. I'm all like, you guys, you couldn't just give him regular hair. It's weird. Anyways. So then he goes in, and he's still making money moves. And Jacaerys is like, my mother's the queen. She makes the rules. Uncle or stepdaddy / uncle / what's going on here? It's so weird. It's so hard to keep their incest, together. I just can't handle it. Anyways, so then he's like, come with me. You need to learn something. So he gets these two dudes from the King's Guard. He says, you swore an oath to the queen. Are you going to uphold that, or am I going to have to kill you right now? He's all like, now you can swear it, or I'll just have Caraxes here, which Caraxes looks very cool. He's my favorite dragon. Out of all the dragons, he's very cool. Unless one shows up and they do a cooler designs, but he's my personal favorite as far as designs go. But he says, you can die now from my dragon and have a warrior's death. He's like, but if you swear loyalty to Queen Rhaenyra and then you neg on the agreement, you will die in pain. I promise you that. And I was like, ooh, you guys don't test him. He's testy. So then, and hold on, let me just hold on. Oh, no. Yeah, there we go. That's so freaking cool. I love this dragon. This is such a cool concept. I love his little horns. He's so cute, but not cute at the same time. He's cute, but creepy. So then as she's giving birth, she's having flashes with her dragon because you remember in the that they're connected to their dragons. Oh crap, I'm trying to get a good one. So she is a trooper. She's having the baby all on her own. Like she's getting zero help. And the ladies are like, man, we can help you. So she gives the baby, just plops right out because she does have I don't want to show too much. It's so gross. She does have a miscarriage. Like I'm not a miscarriage, a stillborn. She gives birth to a stillborn. And it's really, really sad. It's so sad. I don't want to get too much into my personal life, but trust me, in these situations, it's sad. It's really, really sad. Yeah. Okay. So she picks up the baby and hold on, I gotta fast forward this stuff pretty fast. And she's doing what the Silent Sisters would do. She's wrapping up her own child. And I have to tell you right now, I understand that she's all like, no, this is my child. I don't want anybody to touch it. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, what's going on through her head is just insane. Like, how can she do this? And she's got to be weak and all that stuff. But it's just crazy. What women had to deal with back in the day. I know this isn't a real world, but it was pretty hardcore. Give me a second. I'll get through this a little bit faster because this stuff is. And you know what? I'm really happy that they showed Damon upset about this because, I understand that the mother is a huge part of that process, when there's a loss like this. But, the father does go through some stuff, too. Let's see. And then they have the funeral. There's her son. Yeah. And also this kid. Hold on. Let me just back that up to Viserys. Even his hair. They've all got this big ass bushy hair. And their dad did not have big ass bushy hair. He had long, beautiful black locks of hair. I'm all like, you could have gave him some nice hair. Maybe they got it from her. Okay, anyway, so that's the funeral. Then this is now I'm going to be honest with you. So there's two twins here in this situation. I think this is Arik, but there's Eric and Arik, and I'm all like, who names their twin? I have a twin brother. Our names start with M, but my name is Matthew and his name is Marlon. There's no way you'd yell out Matthew and he'd go, what? Because it doesn't sound the same. But if I go Arik and he goes, Eric could be like, what? I said Arik. Oh, I thought you said Eric. So, and I told you this last episode that he brings her the crown that her father wore. And he swears his loyalty to her. And they all bend the knee to her. And then so she starts planning and they start talking about who they got. This is the table. And it's a very cool lit up like this. It's a very cool, like, yeah, I'm not going to go through it, but you can see some really cool stuff in here. Like White Harbor right here. So freaking cool and everything. You see all the castles. So anyways. So she comes in and she's all like, all right, let's get this shit rolling. What's her face? The two ladies, her nieces, they come in and they're going to her nieces / stepdaughters. So weird. We'll say stepdaughters. They come in because she's like, you need to learn. We need to do this. Now, this one is the older one. She has a dragon, but the younger one does not have a dragon yet. I think she gets one, but I'm not quite sure. So then they all come in and they're basically talking about who's loyal to them and who's not. And Queen Rhaenyra's, and they're talking about dragons because they're all like, yo, who's got more dragons? And obviously the blacks have more dragons. The blacks have 10 dragons, and the greens only have 6 dragons, but they have Vhagar, who is huge. Now, in that, there are 3 dragon seeds, and then there's 2 wild dragons. The one of the dragon seeds comes up later. Sheep Stealer, which I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I think another one shows up in this one, but I don't know if it is because it's something that happens that's not in the books, and we'll get to that when we get to it. So Rhaenyra's is all like, I don't know if I'm going to be loyal to you because I got to talk. That's my husband's decision because he's still alive. So we're going to fast forward, and so they're talking like about dragons and their people. They just don't have enough people to help them out. So then they get an envoy from the king, and it's Otto Hightower, and he shows up and he's like, I want to talk to Princess Rhaenyra. And she lands on her. She comes in on her dragon. Very cool. Hold on, let's just do this. So she flies in on her dragon. Very cool. And she lands. Very cool. I love this. I love the dragons. They're so freaking cool and everything. So she comes up and she's all like, I'm queen now. And he's like, not really. So he offers her a deal. Is she can stay here on Dragonstone, and this is hers. Her children will be given proper places like cupbearer and cup hold pourer and shield carrier and all that stuff. But they'll have to renounce she has to renounce her claim to the throne. And she's like, why would I do that kind of thing? And he's like, we should kill you right now. And she's all like, you're not a hand. You were never a hand. You're just a traitor. And he gives her this piece of paper from the ex-queen, Queen Regent. And it's the book from, I believe it was episode 2 that she tore out of the book. And Alicent was all like, don't tear out the books, the pages and stuff. And so she's basically saying like, hey, let's not kill each other. Let's be friends kind of thing. Remember our friendship from the past. And it kind of works because she's all like, I'll give you my answer on the morrow. So they're sitting here and they're still planning and plotting and they're trying to figure stuff out. So they decide, I can't remember why they go over here. I can't remember what he says that she's all like, clear the room. So she's talking to him because he's trying to make decisions and she's the queen and she's all like, he's telling her that they need to fight. And she's thinking about maybe they need to not fight. And she's remembering the Song of Ice and Fire, that prophecy. And she goes, listen, my father told me about the Song of Ice and Fire, and we need to come together to stop the threat in the north. And so he grabs her by the neck and he's all like, just because my brother had dreams doesn't mean. She's like, he never told you about the prophecy. So he always believed in Rhaenyra. He always believed in her. And that's what I love about it. Like, he always believed in his daughter. And I think that's why she chooses to fight, because she's like, it's not true. He did not want Aegon to be king. He wanted me to be queen. And therefore, and how I know that is because he didn't tell anybody else about the prophecy of Song of Ice and Fire. And so he leaves. And so Lord Corlys, he wakes up and he's getting all better. And he's all like, I've had men whipped for falling asleep on their watch. And his wife's all like, oh, get the fuck out of here. So then he's all like, we're going to go back to, the Driftwood Mark or whatever. They're going to go back to Driftmark. And they're not going to get into this. They're just not going to do it. And she's all like, you left me. I lost my children too. You weren't the only one that lost children in that. I lost them too. And then you left me. And he was all like, that's how he coped, kind of thing. So she's all like, I'm not losing any more people. And so they come in and he's all like, you don't have anything, but you have my fleet. And they talk about how they're going to cut off and they also have Rhaenyra's dragon. Hold on. So they're going to cut off Driftmark and dragons. They're going to cut off this bay, and it will stop the shipping lines into King's Landing / Westeros. So they need to send stuff to they're going to send some crows to Winterfell to talk to the Starks, and then somebody to it's not Storm's Landing or whatnot. And they're like, why don't we instead of sending crows, send dragons? Because they fly faster and it'll just be better, kind of thing. And they're like, oh, that's a good idea. And so she's going to send her 2 boys. So she gets them prepared, and she's like, listen, you're messengers, not warriors. And they're like, okay. And she's like, you go to the Starks, and she's like, you can find something to agree with them on. And then she tells that's Jacaerys, and the Jacaerys tells him to go to Storm's End and talk to them, and they'll remember. But she tells them, just go as messengers, not as fighters. Do not fight. She's like, swear to me you won't do it. And they swear and they go, and he's nervous, but she's like, don't worry. She's like, he'll remember the oath of his family. So they all leave. So this, I want to play this really quickly because it's all 3 dragons flying off. So we have these 2. So these are the 3 dragons. So we get these 2 dragons, and that dragon right there is Melee's, and that's Rhaenyra's riding it. And then we also get Arax with it, which is Luke's dragon, and then we get Tyrax's, which is no, that's Joffrey's. It's Vermax. That's Jace's dragon. And here they are flying, and they look so freaking cool, you guys. Just imagine the time when there was like, I can't play this whole thing. But there they are. And this one, Lucerys' dragon and Jaceerys' dragon, they look more like, I think, the dragons from Game of Thrones. What's her face? Daenerys, her dragon. See, he's very cool. So then they all fly off on their own. So then we follow Lucerys, because the other 2. Oh, and Melee's and Rhaenyra's, they're going back to the Driftmark to secure their battle fronts and stopping any shipping lines coming from the triad, not the triad, it's the tri-union or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry, guys. So then we get Daemon, and he goes into these caves, and he's singing in Old Valyria, and he's singing, and he comes across this dragon. Hold on, let me get it good. Now, this dragon, this is not his dragon. And I don't know who this is. Now, I think, and I don't, this was not in the books. And if it was in the books, I literally don't remember it. But I'm like 90% sure this was not in the books. Him going to sing to some random dragon. I think this is Cannibal, and this is a wild dragon. There's 2 wild dragons. There's Cannibal and then Grey Ghost. And I think this is Cannibal. Cannibal is huge. He's a huge dragon. And that's why I think Daemon goes to him, because he's trying to get more dragons. And remember, the one girl, Balon, I think that's the one daughter from one of his daughters. She doesn't have a dragon. So I think he's trying to come here, and he's trying to get a dragon. Yeah. So here's Storm's End. I'm not getting a good picture of it. And it's obviously storming, and he lands. That's a very cool place at this castle. And he gets off, and as he's walking, there's like a big roar, and it's Vhagar. And Vhagar is huge. Look how huge Vhagar is right there. So huge. So that means Aemon is here. Aemon is here, and he came to party. And so he goes in, and he's like, I need to see your lord and everything. I have a message from my mother. He takes the message in, and there's Aemon. And they're just staring each other down. This kid's supposed to be 16. He looks like he's like 30. I'm like, get out of here, 16, my ass. Or at least I think he's supposed to be 16. He's 14. He looks 14. The other one doesn't look 16, but he's come with a proposal of marriage to one of my daughters. Do you propose marriage? He's like, no. He's like, I'm already taken. Oh, this guy couldn't read, so he gets his maester to read for him because he's, who doesn't learn how to read? What kind of nonsense is that? He's like, so you come, and he's like, he's going to marry, which one of my daughters are you going to marry? And they're all very pretty. I mean, yeah, they're cute. Yeah, whatever. He's like, I can't marry him. I'm spoken for. And so this is when it gets good. So he's like, you're not leaving. You're going to give me one of your eyes. He's like, I'm not going to blind you. And he's got that blue eye, and it's very cool looking. But he's all like, yeah. So he's like, I'm not. He's like, so he leaves and he tries to start a fight. And he's like, there will be no fighting in my hall. So then they go, and Vagar's gone. So he gets on his dragon. He's like, fly true and shit. And he's like, listen to me. So they're flying. And as they're flying, hold on. It's like a shark. Like the whole time I just was like, dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. And so up in the air. Hold on. I'm trying to get a. Okay, hold on. Let me see if this will do this. It looks like Harry Potter. Is that Harry Potter? I'm sorry, you guys. I can't play too much of this but he is like, he comes in and he is just fucking with him. Like these two dragons. Sorry, I'm not getting very good pictures, like shots of this. But Vagar is. Why does Vagar look like an old shoe? Like he just looks like an old shoe. And he's messing with them the whole time. Like they're messing with each other. And he does the smart thing. He flies into these little caves because Vagar's too big, these little canyons, and he can't go in there. So then I think Vagar's getting pissed at this point because of it. There he is. Look how huge he is. She's so huge. Sorry. So yeah, so they're sitting here and they're trying to get their dragons to listen, right? And while they do that, hold on. So here's Vagar, right? And hold on, I missed it. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Let me go back. So Jacaerys comes in and they fires a fireball, but that was not on purpose. Because look, he's like, no, Arax, serve me. So the dragons are like fighting each other. Now in the book, okay, they'd have you think that they fought each other, but I'm trying to figure out if Martin didn't give them some insight into this fight, because all of this was it the writers, or was it and when I say writers, I mean like dragon writers. Sorry guys, was it the dragon writers in this that did all of this stuff, or was it the dragons that were all a part of this? This part is very fascinating, and I'm curious to see if we find out if there was any insight into this, because they'd also have you think that this battle took place at Shipbreaker Bay, but I'm all like, did it take place at Shipbreaker Bay? And so they're fighting, and so they're pissed. So he flies up above the clouds where it's nice and pretty, and he's just sitting here, and then all of a sudden, Vagar comes out of nowhere and just chomp, delicious, and he's like, Vagar, no, and then he's like, oh shit. And then just hold on, let me show you the look on his face. Because then he's like, fuck, I fucked up. He's like, I fucked up. He's like, damn it, Vagar. Damn it, Vagar. Why do you got to mess up? Now everything is ruined. And this is the beginning of the war. So we go back to Dragonstone, and he comes in and he pulls her aside. And he's like, I want to talk to you. He pulls her aside. And then he tells her. And she's distraught. And she's all upset, and she turns around. She's like, and then you can see it in her eyes. She's all like, they threw the first punch. It's go time. Look at that face. She is like, I'm pissed now. Like, look at her. Those are the eyes of a woman whose son was killed. She's ready to go. Now, I also, real quick, I want to go back to this part right here where Daemon is talking to this dragon, or singing to this dragon, which I think it's cannibal. And I still hold true to that. At first, I thought maybe it was Sheep Stealer. Now, Sheep Stealer is written by Nettles, and Nettles is a girl that there's a dragon, and she feeds it a sheep every day, and she ends up riding it. And I'm very curious to know if she is one of Aegon's bastards, because she's able to tame a dragon. Because you can't ride a dragon unless you're you have Targaryen blood. It's all about blood magic in there, and if you don't have blood the Targaryen blood, you can't ride a dragon. It's just not possible. Any percentage of Targaryen blood will get you to ride a dragon. And then that's the end of the season finale. It's so good. I thought that this season would end with I thought the penultimate episode would be Shipbreaker Bay, but it wasn't. It was this one. And I think that it was really, really good. And I cannot wait until next season. It's going to be so good. I thought this season would end with blood and cheese. And if you know, you know, but if you don't, it's fine. But it didn't end in blood and cheese. Yeah, it just ended like this. And I thought it was very good. The actors did good. Everything was great. But yeah. All right, I will do a season 1 review when I find time. I just gotta find time and everything. But tell me, what did you guys think about this season finale? Did you love it as much as I did, or did you not love it as much as I did? What was your favorite part? Did you think there was enough dragons? Did you think there was enough political intrigue and everything? But tell me what you guys thought. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on my season 1 review of House of the Dragon. You guys have a good week. Dracarys! Bye.